wrongfully terminated, and I don't know why. How can I figure out how my rights were terminated?
I have talked to CPS. I guess I have no other courts. Got called the court.
I call the courts, and they won't furnish any information. Because the interference with child custody happens to be a crime. And
I don't know. I don't know, ma'am. You want to talk to the supervisor?
This is what did I call?
I'll let you speak to the
What did I call, ma'am? What did I call?
Police department.
Okay, and your position? Yes, is Detective Fox in? Or Fox?
Sergeant Hicks, South Central.
Yeah, is Fox in?
I'm sorry?
Is Fox in?
Yes, I'm good.
Fox, F-O-X?
It's Fox.
Yes, is he there?
Sergeant Fox?
Yes.
You want to see Sergeant Fox in his office?
Well, my name's Kiana Clark. I've been having some issues with child custody, and I don't know why my rights was terminated, and I haven't been able to find out close to 5 years.
Well, I just transferred to his line.
I'm sorry?
Let us give 1 second. I'm trying to see if he's there.
Okay. While you're trying to check and see if he was there, do you have any suggestions? You're a sergeant?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are the suggestions on how I can find out how my rights were terminated? What were the allegations?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to transfer you to Sergeant Fox here.
Okay, he's there. He's going to answer the phone.
I'm going to transfer to his line. He should answer the phone.
Well, if he don't, can you not blind transfer me and make sure he answers? So if he don't answer, then I can speak with you?
Well, that's the only way we can have it. You have to call back.
Okay, well then here's my question before you transfer me. How do I find out what the allegations are? Because they've never been presented to me.
I'm sorry, what allegation?
My child custody rights were terminated, and I don't know why. And I've been trying to figure it out close to 5 years.
George Allen.
They won't tell me, and they keep acting odd and altering documents, which is criminal. They don't want me to know. They keep telling me I need an attorney. They didn't follow the family code, which was to provide me one if I was indigent. When child custody rights were at stake. Well, we need to figure it out because I've been trying to figure it out 5 years. So interference with child custody is a state jail felony crime. So who investigates that so they can get their charges? Here we go again. Family member conflict, crimes and corruption on the phone. Transfer me while I was talking. They don't want people to get those felony charges of interference with child custody. They hung up. But it's been going on years, though. This is what they're getting paid to do.
South Central Association, I can help you.
Yes, I was disconnected. I was trying to find out who investigates interference with child custody. That crime?
Okay. Yes, you would have to call headquarters Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to speak to a detective.
Okay, so a detective handles that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your name?
Espinoza.
Okay, and you're a police?
I am.
Okay, so I would like to know if government officials and law enforcement, how do you get them their charges for conspiring in crimes and depriving someone of citizens of law enforcement for profit, enforcing that they stay in jeopardy and abuse? So when police, because I tried to call the police on the call 911 on the police, and they gave me a ticket out of corruption saying that you can't report crimes the police are committing. And I think when we get to a day and age where it becomes a crime to report government officials committing crimes.
So if you call police while police are there, it's misdemeanor stop. And when you say crime,
right, because they had to do that when wasn't that George Floyd when he was getting murdered? See, we're in a different day and age, so we got to get prepared. If things don't change, we got to get prepared for things like this. Like when George Floyd was getting murdered, I'm not being heard, sir. I'm not being heard. So if we don't change what we're doing now, we got to get prepared for things like George Floyd. Police murdering people because now they're choosing to be gangsters in 2023 because they have no consequences.
Hey, ma'am.
So now the cartel, the government is choosing to be the cartel for profit. There used to be back in the day that there were cover-up gangsters. What they did was they just had the police department just cover for crimes. Now the police department is the gangsters. So if nothing doesn't change, hello? If nothing changes, we need to be able to get prepared on what we need to do for law enforcement and their RICO charges and the police department choosing to be gangsters. Still on hold while I was talking. So the thing with the kids, he's jealous. This is a jealous, sadistic abuser. Okay, he has the power to abuse. He feels some type of way, really, because he was ignored, and I spent time with my kids. I said, I'm not going to neglect. He would scheme to have me. He took pleasure in trying to have avenues for me to neglect my kids. It was odd, and I just wouldn't do it. And he did things with fake pages, trying to purposely scheme for me to neglect my kids. Then when he realized that, it wasn't happening, then he schemed to remove them. This is someone that's not mentally stable that's running the government. So then in his head, I am jealous of your kids. No one have made me be accountable. Accountability is not something that I've had to experience. So I just feel some type of way about you having your children with no accountability. I don't want it. So you don't get your children. I'm jealous. I remember those times you played and laughed with your daughter and you weren't talking to me. I don't want you to. And I get away with it. Hello?
Yeah, ma'am, that makes sense. All right, well, do me a favor and you be safe, all right?
I didn't get my question answered. If the government chooses to be part of the cartel and not just cover for it, is that a threat to national security?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. All I know is their behavior is like they're the cartel. That they behave like gangsters to me. And then they flash their badges and guns and enforce crimes. I don't know what this person did. I thought they were a graphic designer. All I know is I've seen police flashing badges and guns, enforcing citizens to commit crimes. And family members. I've had to call back because they played games with another call. Well, like I said, a lot of people before COVID, I said that we're in jeopardy. I'm in jeopardy, and I haven't been heard. It just have not been heard. If it keeps going on the way that it's going on, are you in jeopardy? If the government repetitively scams and schemes to violate one citizen's rights and keeps giving them multiple criminal trespasses, shutting down businesses before COVID, if you sat there and looked and whatever happened with COVID, why would you be shocked? Not saying they're related, but if you sat there, you witnessed the government violating someone to that extreme for profit before COVID, then all of a sudden you didn't have rights with COVID. Why would you have an expectation if one person was allowed to be violated for profit that would not infringe on future rights of other citizens? Common sense. You don't condone one party being violated for profit, especially to this extreme. You sit there, witness it go on year in year, no matter the color, the creed, the background. The fact of it is these are felonies that are being committed to a human being. And for some people to sit there and witness it and do nothing is not in fact just heartless, but for some people it's a crime. So they've been playing games for years. I don't want to keep having to sit and take it. I think if I pay a phone bill, I should have a say-so in my phone. I think if I have kids, the government shouldn't repetitively commit crimes and keep me away from it. If I have a relative, I don't think that the government should enforce that the family member be abusive. Sometimes they have put their hands on me in tears. They have actually staged altercations in fights. I have been here. Someone pulled. Yes, hello.
I'm listening. I've been listening for the last 40 minutes.
Well, how was I? It sounded like it was on hold. We still haven't got any feedback on how I can figure out what reasoning my child custody rights were terminated.
You can call headquarters
I can't call headquarters. I've been calling them for months. They don't answer the phone. I'm not being heard. I've been calling headquarters for months. They don't answer the phone. Games again. It's sadistic. But they used to stage arguments, come out on their own. They wanted me to be destroyed after these calls. And then control my environment so they can torture me too. If I was to go catch the bus now, I'd go get threatened. And with family members, the same kind of abuse. If I was to go to a restaurant right now, they burn my food. Or do something wrong or scam. If I was to go to a hotel, there would be abuse. In all my environments. If I was to go to a hospital, they have abuse there waiting on me too. So you tell me how you feel as a citizen to sit, to know that you repetitively have crimes committed. How would you feel if you knew that you could not depend on law enforcement to abide by the law? To know that you have pickpocketing stage, identity theft, interference with child custody, child abuse, gang stalk, all kinds of crimes, all left and right, and you just absolutely could not get law enforcement. And half the reason is because law enforcement is behind it. I saw them at Parkland once again, demanding to see these people ID because they did not want to be a part of the government's harassment and torture campaign. They were doing it and they were very abusive at this hospital stay. So then when I gave them my YouTube channel and told them what the government was up to, they didn't want to be a part of that abuse and they didn't do it to the extreme. So the police department came and started abusing tax dollars and enforcing citizens to commit crimes. This is 2023. I stated a long time ago, from the mental illness I see from the government, I think it is a threat to national security if nothing is done. Said this before COVID. In their mental illness, they really thought they were going to give me a criminal trespass all over everywhere I went, and they were doing it. They wanted to blacklist me from being everywhere. I said that this is dangerous. Please hear me. Nothing was done. I absolutely, initially at first, I knew they had staged COVID. But it went to the extreme because it was mental illness and they were closing down businesses and committing crimes before COVID.
Man, I understand. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I thought I was on hold, but I'm not being heard. I'm just reporting interference with child custody. I don't know what the truth is. But I just don't know how to report it. I repetitively get asking that at multiple different locations and being placed on hold. How do you report interference with child custody? Because if someone is using your children that you know you love and adhere for psychological damage, that's pretty sick. On hold again. It's sick. So using someone's child as leverage to hurt them. They kept on coming in each time I'm saying something incriminating. They come in, take a breather to come interrupt that, and then get back off the phone and put me on hold. You know, this has been a long day. Family members covering for crimes, trying to frame me with mental illness. I guess I'll just hang up. I just want you guys to see what I've had to endure. Like I said before COVID, are you safe?